Welcome to the R video tutorial on Splines Part 6. This time we're going to do the underlying regression function. This will require linear algebra, and if you don't know linear algebra, you're just going to have to roll with it. You still can function with this. You just may not understand the mathematics on why these formulas are what they are or why they are the way they are. But right now we're just going to set this up so that we can run with it. All right, so the first thing we're going to have to do is create a matrix that is going to hold our data. So I'm going to call this xmat1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it off by repeating the vector of, I'm going to make a vector of ones or a column of ones in this that has the length of my original data, which is x1. So what this is going to do is going to give me a column of ones that actually corresponds to, if you remember from the regression equation, the intercept. So this is the intercept term. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take xmat1 and then we're going to keep adding things to it. So I'm going to cbind onto here. Let's see here. I'm going to cbind xmat1. So I'm going to take what I had and then I'm going to put x1 on there. So when you see this, you will see what it does here in just a second. All right, so if I look at xmat1, I'm just going to look at the top of it because it's too long. It's 5,000 rows long, and I don't want to deal with it. But here's x1, and here's our vector of ones, and this is the setup that we need. All right, now if we want to do linear regression with this, so I'm going to just set this up. I'm going to put our function in here. So we're going to take the inverse of the transpose of x matrix 1, and the matrix multiplication is percent star percent xmat1, and then we're going to have to do percent star percent again transpose xmat1, and we're not worrying about why this formula is what it is. And this will give us our regression coefficients for our data. See, I shouldn't have canceled that. Sometimes we make mistakes. All right, so if I run this, this is what I get out of it, these two numbers. And if I were to run LM and just punch in my y1 tilde x1, notice I get exactly the same numbers. I get exactly the same numbers. This number and this number is exactly the same. This number and this number is exactly the same, because this is the mathematics that R is doing underneath the hood. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make this into a function that we can use for ourselves, because we're going to need this for the spline, so that we can just add columns to this X matrix, and that's just adding on our extra knots. Okay, so or basis functions, which we're going to start calling them. So here's what we were going to do is we're just going to make a function. Let's call it reg1. Since it's regression, and I'm just going to have this be, well, it's pretty easy. It's going to be a function. We're going to put in y1. We're going to put in xmat1. We don't want to put x1 by itself. However, we could, and we might do that later. But right now, we're going to stick with this. Right now, so I just need my result. And I'm just going to copy and paste this. And then I'm going to return res1. And this is it. This is my function here. And this will allow me to run this however I want or whenever I want. So what I'm going to do right now is just test it out real quick, make sure it works, and then we will jump to the next video. So here's y1. We're going to put xmat1 in. And if I run these, bingo, my numbers come out again, just like they did up here. So it's exactly the same mathematics. That's why you get exactly the same answer. Now, in the next video, we're going to focus on building this X matrix. That's the big key here. If we can build this automatically in an automated sort of way, then we can just tell it where we want the knots, and it will do the rest of the work for us. That's our idea is here in this series is how do we get be able to program through something that will automatically do a whole bunch of stuff for us versus just one-off tasks. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.